I mean, they may not be the truth, but it's an easy call.
All right. I'm just going to go with verbally abusive dad.
Be more specific. Just
call her a bitch.
No. But I mean, like, when you work too much, work too little, stay at home all the time, yelling at everybody. Describe him to us.
Didn't like women that much. Sort of gave Mom and
like
Shelley a hard time. I'm not going to call the guy's profession.
Come on.
Court stenographer.
Okay.
You jackass. I don't have to call his profession. I'm just saying, no physical abuse. He was no stranger to the wine, but he wasn't alcoholic.
I would agree with you. The alcohol is not the big issue. It's just this out of control rage.
It never made her feel good about herself.
For some reason, I'm thinking military. Man.
All right, then go with that.
All right,
we'll get to it. Shelley?
You couldn't be more wrong. The only thing that I've thought about this a lot, actually, and the only thing that my dad has in common with my ex is that he doesn't treat women as equals, and he still treats me like I'm a little girl, even though I'm almost 30. And and he's still controlling in my life, not like that, but, you know.
Like how?
Well, he was always like I had a really good childhood, but my mom was, you know, much less of a dictator than he was. You know, he was the rules, but he was never verbally or emotionally abusive. He's a very sensitive person.
What did he do for a living?
He didn't do anything. I just think that...
What do you do for a living?
He's an accountant.
Accountant.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't seem to fit with any of our hypotheses.
I know, that's why I was like...
How'd you get so screwed up?
Then get the hell out of that relationship with your boyfriend. Your husband, he's done.
Hey, you don't have to be there. Your dad was an accountant, for Christ's sake. You understand?
Well, my problem
believe me, listen, hold on. You said that he didn't listen to women or didn't... I mean, I know he treated you like ladies, but maybe that was a little condescending. Did you feel that way?
Who, my dad or my ex?
Your dad.
Yeah, a little bit.
Did he ever hit you?
No, not at all.
Never.
Not even with like a abacus or something?
Do you remember like when you learned how to swim?
Mm-hmm.
Did he teach you?
I can't remember. Both my parents probably did.
Okay. Just trying to think of examples where she might not have perceived the abuse, and yet sometimes it can be just overt.
I didn't learn, fear of making someone mad from my family at all. It was a totally new thing with my ex. And I sort of learned the hard way by learning what little tiny things would tick him off. And so I've sort of grown to sort of look for things that might upset him. Even now, it's ridiculous.
All right, but your dad's thing was sort of women should be seen and not heard, or you're there to please your man?
Maybe to a small degree, but not.
Okay. All right. That one's a push. All right, you have no more excuses then. You're already separated. That's it. You're not going to correct this guy.
No, I know I'm not going to correct him, but my problem is that I don't know how to sort of strengthen myself for when I'm ready to be in a new relationship, how I'm not going to fall for that again, or I'm even afraid of starting to date.
Are you still aware that you're attracted to these kinds of guys?
Well, I hope not. I was with him for a long time, so...
haven't you had enough of that?
Yes, I have.
All right.
Do you understand?
Sure, I've had enough of this call, to tell you the truth.
All right. Listen, there's a lot missing here. There's still not fitting together for me at all.
I know, because Dad couldn't have been a saint, and she got in with Mr. Controlling Abusive. It just doesn't gel.
What was Mom like?
No, she's gone. Listen, she sort of tipped it off a little bit, which was Dad didn't respect women or didn't value their opinion or didn't...
There's much more than that there.
I know, but if she gave us that much, there may have been more. Right. I think I would have been right if we had a chance to sweat her a little bit. But look, you have no more excuses, and don't worry about your next relationship. Get out of this crappy one.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't look down the road. Please, I can't believe you didn't say that, Drew.
Kelly, what's going on?
Hi. Dr. Drew, Adam?
Yeah, Kelly.
Kelly's 30, by the way.
Yes, she is. Well, she's turning 30 this week.
Happy birthday.
What I'm calling about is about 2 years ago, about this same time, an ex came back into my life, and we were friends. We started becoming friends during a time where my husband and I were having some problems, and the friendship kind of grew, and it started to turn into something else, but just over the phone. And one day this guy shows up at my house, basically broke in, and he raped me, but I didn't conceive it as rape at the time, and the relationship, I continued it, and I had an affair with this guy, and couldn't tell my husband, so I ended up moving away, because I didn't think my husband would believe me.
Believe you what?
Believe that I was raped.
Well, why is he going to believe you were raped when you then carried on and had an affair with the same guy?
The only reason I carried it on is because I figured he wouldn't... At the time, the whole time it was happening, I was saying no, and I was thinking to myself, there's no way anybody's going to believe this.
Describe the rape.
Yeah, but what? Oh, really?
But, I mean, no.
I know, it sounds strange, but I honestly thought that the whole time.
Describe what that done. The guy broke in with a gun and held you at knife point or something?
No, that's my point. It wasn't...
Yeah, he broke with a knife and held her at gunpoint.
Well, that's the point. I mean, what happened?
It wasn't a hostile thing, so I didn't think anybody would believe me.
What happened?
He broke into my bathroom.
What do you mean he broke in?
Literally, broke in. Door was locked.
He broke the door down?
Unlocked it somehow.
Well, you
got an outside door going from your bathroom out to the yard?
No.
And by the way, if you got that, you don't need the bathroom. You just piss out the door.
No, the back door was unlocked. The back door, the screen door was open.
All right, so he came into the house through the back door.
Uh-huh. He knew I was there.
You were in the bathroom.
Taking a shower.
How did he know you were there?
He had called about a half hour prior to that.
And you invited him over?
No, I didn't. I had no idea he was coming over.
Okay.
I didn't even know he was in town. At the time, he lived 2 hours away.
Okay, so he came over, just walked right into your bathroom.
And I was just, I guess I went into shock, and I didn't know what to do. So basically...
Had you been a victim ever previously in your life?
You guys might want to take bets, because you might want to start your gambling.
Well, no, that would make it all fit, if that's the case.
It would, wouldn't it? But no, I haven't. I really haven't.
Kelly?
Yes.
Here's the deal. We're going to put you on hold because we got to take a break. But there's a lot here because Kelly was raped, but she didn't want to report the rape because no one would believe her.
She didn't even consider it a rape because she went on with the affair.
Well, she called it a rape, but then she continued on having an affair with this guy, and then she didn't want to tell her husband, and then she knew her husband wouldn't think it was a rape. And I would allude more to the affair part than I would to the rape part if you're talking about believing somebody. But there's a lot here, and Kelly, it's like trying to wrestle a Abba Zaba away from a hyena.
Right out of his mouth.
It's really tough getting info out of this Kelly. He broke into the bathroom. People forget about stuff like how to get into the house and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, we'll get back. We'll wrestle the truth away from her all after this little break.
On 98 KUPD.
Hey there, it's Loveline. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Adam Carolla, Dr. Drew. We're in Clearwater, Florida this evening. We'll be back in town tomorrow. Stuart Copeland will be on the show from the Police. Goo Goo Dolls on Thursday, and a pretty big week next week as well. Alrighty then, Drew. When we left off, we were speaking to Kelly. Kelly's 30, right? Kelly was married. Kelly started kind of talking to an ex-boyfriend of hers over the phone. Then he came over and he raped her, and then she began an affair with him, and she's since moved out, I guess, away from her husband. Kelly, did you get a separation or a divorce from your husband?
He ended up filing for divorce after I started another relationship after I moved away.
Not the ex?
Not the ex.
What led you to conclude finally that this relationship was no good and there was a rape involved? How did you come to that realization?
I did get some rape counseling because I wouldn't even admit that it was rape for a long time. So I got
who told you to get? Who decided you should have rape counseling?
The rape counselor.
Why were you seeing a rape counselor?
Because I didn't know where else to turn, and I just thought I called with a general question. In this scenario, would you consider this rape? And she said yes, and we went on to talk, and then I ended up having sessions with her.
This, by the way, though, and what happened to you was rape, but, in this day and age, just about anything is rape, and just about everything's alcoholism. You ever take one of those, are you an alcoholic tests? Mm-hmm. There you go. Do you feel a drink loosens you up in social situations? Yeah. Have you ever drank so much you didn't remember what you did the night before? You ever vomited? Yeah. You ever swore you were going to stop drinking? Did you ever, even though you were intoxicated, keep drinking to the point? Oh, check. Yeah. Ooh, Tijuana. Yep. Yep. Fill up an ice maker. Yep. Urinate ice maker. Yep. With the panties. Yep. Ooh, yep. And then they go, after you said yes to 28 out of the 30 questions.
If you say yes to 3 of these, you're an alcoholic.
2, you're an alcoholic. 3, you need to be in rehab right now, like airlifted.
Yeah,
and then I always look at that and I go, you know what? I said yes to 28 of those, and I'm not an alcoholic.
Right. That's why you got to listen to me.
All right. Okay.
All right. But listen, where are we going with Kelly?
I don't know.
Kelly, do you have a specific question for us about all this?
Yeah, basically.
Well, I have a quick question for Kelly. How long did you date the guy? He was your boyfriend before he then raped you, right?
A very short time. And it was a relationship just before my husband and I were together.
But how long did you have the affair with him?
The second time around, after the rape, about 3 months. Not very long.
Mm-hmm. And was it when he left you that you started having general questions about what had happened?
No, I ended it. I told him to never contact me again.
Why? What was he doing to you?
I just finally figured out that, gee, this might be a little twisted. So it took me a while.
Why were you willing just to sort of drop your husband?
You know, I just could not come to grips with telling him for the longest time. I finally did tell him after I moved away, but then I had started seeing somebody else because I was really insecure and very needy.
What was going on in your marriage? Or not going on?
We were having sexual problems.
What's the problem?
Had a real bad sex life.
What was the problem?
Not enough passion. I guess that's the only way I could sum it up. Something was just, I guess because we're friends, I married my best friend, and I think that's probably why.
Can you be a little more specific? Not enough passion, never had sex?
Me?
No, I mean, what does that mean, not enough passion?
In a relationship.
Can you be more specific what that means, not enough passion?
Well, it just wasn't... I don't know.
You didn't love him? You weren't in love with him?
Yeah, I'm very much in love with him, still.
What does that mean, not enough passion? Quantify that. Make me understand what that means. And I don't mean to be facetious or harp on you.
He's not a very loving or giving person in that respect.
Okay. But it's going to take a lot.
He comes from a military family. He's basically kind of cold to the feelings.
Okay. All right, so, Kelly, are you in a relationship currently?
I'm in the same relationship I started after I moved here, and that has started to become verbally abusive.
Kelly, didn't we explore your family? You said nothing in your past?
No, that wasn't.
The only thing I can equate it to is I had a stepfather who was very verbally abusive.
Okay.
And the two are pretty much the same, and I don't know how I ended up in this relationship. So basically my question is, how do you get out of the cycle? I've gotten counseling, several different therapists.
But stop participating. I mean, if you're a lush and you're not willing to go to AA, at least don't go to the bar. You know what I mean? Every relationship you choose is a horrible, chaotic relationship. Just pull yourself out of it for 6 months or a year. Go ahead. It's no big deal, everybody. God knows I've done it. You can do it.
Just end it.
Just get out of the relationship and don't start anything up for a year.
And be very careful with
do some yoga, do some therapy. Find a sports team to follow.
What you're attracted to. And almost undoubtedly you're going to be attracted to people that have abusive tendencies. And just make sure that you know well what you're getting into. Okay?
And don't be in so much denial.
Yeah.
You neither, Drew.
About what?
See, look at you.
What?
You heard me.
Let's go to Vicky. Vicky's 15. What's up, Vicky?
Oh, hi. Okay, now, my dad moved to Utah when I was 10 with his wife, his second wife. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And, he's got 2 kids with her. And now he doesn't, respond to my emails very often. I think the last time it took him a month.
Wow.
And, he calls me maybe once a month, sometimes less. Usually at
Horrible.
like 6 in the morning he calls me.
I couldn't imagine, and a lot of dads do this. I don't think moms do it as much, but dads are such bastards. We talk to people all the time. They essentially have a kid or 2 kids or 3 kids, and then they get divorced.
Have another family.
They just go start another family.
Yeah, that's bizarre. That is bizarre. If you wait till you have kids, that's going to be just so bizarre to you.
How do you do that? How do you have like 2 or 3 kids and then you just go move on? And hey, I pulled up stakes. I went to Utah. I got a beautiful young 8-month-old. I got a 3-year-old.
Think how narcissistic that is.
I got a little Jamie's 9. We're getting him into Little League. I got a nice young wife.
I just go on forever, and I just extend my seed everywhere. It's just pathetic. Hey, Vicky, promise me something. As God is my witness, promise me you will not pick abandoning males for your relationships when you grow up, or as you grow up, all right?
Okay.
Will you promise me that? We try to be careful and recognize that this is not what you deserve. When you seek out guys that really are available to you are not going to treat you like this.
Okay.
Look at this as this is the model of what you don't want.
Okay.
Okay? Promise me?
Okay.
Sounded a little shaky.
What's more important than anything, Vicky, forget Dad. Dad doesn't deserve your relationship with you right now. If he believe me, you cut it off, he'll come crawling back anyway. And if he doesn't, it's better for you. This is not a relationship. This is just a desperate. You can only cling to somebody like this, and he's not available to you in any kind of real way.
It just breaks my heart that you have to send Pops an email and wait a month for him to get back to you. Just sort of try to coax it out of him. Try to massage a little love, just a scrap of love. Could you just toss a little bit my way?
Kids think about this on subconscious levels anyway. They make it their fault.
Oh, I know.
He's got to be that object that I can love. He can't really see him for the son of a bitch that he really is, because he can't love that.
Right.
It must be me.
Yeah. At least my dad had the decency to ignore his family but not start a new one.
Yeah. He was just sort of neutral. He wasn't lovable.
He was sort of neutral, yeah. It's not like he was playing favorites with someone else's kids. He was just sort of that way in general. Oh, I can't imagine. Listen, all you bastards, if I find you, I'm kicking you right in the nuts. I'm going right for the factory. Yeah, my boot's going to be like a smart bomb going to an Iraqi chemical plant. You know what I'm saying? That's the plant. It's going right up the chimney. I'm going right into the nads. It's pathetic. The thing that pisses me off is we know that 9 times out of 10. And this is why we got to get Vicky to sign something. She's going after this guy. She's going to have herself a nice boyfriend who's going to be out of it, not into her.
Why are all the nice guys? Where's my Prince Charming? What's your Prince Charming, Vicky? Some brooding, pierced, antisocial a-hole. Right, that's what she wants. And why do good guys treat me right?
Oh, Vicky, you find yourself a guy with like a slide rule and a comb in his pocket, and a pocket liner that protects the pocket liner. There's one pocket liner that's so valuable that needs an alternate pocket liner underneath it.
All right, we're going to go back to Rick, who was somebody we spoke to last time. Remember at the end of the show?
Right, he'd been on hold for like 80 minutes.
Here, he's still with us. Rick is 24. Rick.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Okay,
welcome back.
Thanks. This is kind of to Drew. My girlfriend, she's had some real hard times. Starting at 19, she got cancer, like environmental.
Oh, my God.
And
of what?
I'm sorry?
Cancer what? Cancer of what?
Oh,
hold on. Rick, is that us or is that you?
No, that's us.
Oh, that's us, because if it was him, it'd be a longer delay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that, Rick?
Okay, she had cancer, cervical cancer. And she
why do you call that an environmental cancer?
Well, because she's in a lawsuit about that, because I guess where she used to live there was like some like nuclear stuff, or I don't know. That's what she tells me.
Rick, cervical cancer happens to young females all the time.
I understand that.
Yeah, but why not make a buck?
Yeah, well, they're just attorneys trying to lay blame somewhere. But I tell you something, cervical cancer is why women have to get pap smears every year, and is very common in cancer.
Pretty much came down.
So what's up?
Yeah. But anyway, that's just one thing that's happened. On top of that, she has lupus, fibromyalgia, Raynaud's disease. She was just recently diagnosed with scoliosis. And she's got some other stuff I just can't even think of. She's on all kinds of medications. She's been diagnosed with obsessive complex disorder, where she keeps on obsessing about stuff. And
she tear her hair out and that kind of stuff?
Just about. So, I mean, these are some of the things that, kind of things. On top of that, like your last call, she's had a very bad family relations. I guess her dad and her were really not that close. She just feels that her dad is just there to pretty much give her money. For example, she doesn't work right now because she's sick.
You got to be there for something.
Yeah, she doesn't work right now because she's sick, and she's in a point where she needs some money. And because her babies, because she can't have kids, she considers her babies her pet. She's got 3 cats, and one of them's really sick. And she needs money to take care of that for special food and whatever. He won't send it to her, but yet she's upset because...
Is there, by the way, is there anything that's in her proximity that's not coming down with something?
Why do you need a project like this, Rick? Not that you shouldn't love your girlfriend, but I mean, what is it with you that you need this kind of project?
You know what? I mean, she told me she was sick, but I just didn't realize, I didn't really comprehend how sick it was. And when, you know, we also... It wasn't like this.
She doesn't look very physically ill, does she?
No, she doesn't. And I'm...
Yeah, because the majority of what you're talking here about is psychiatric illness.
Well, it is, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, because in the beginning, we were kind of, you know, playing around, going out, whatever, but lately it's been getting really bad. And like I said, I think one thing she dwells on, my past relationships, you know, I've been kind of open, you know, like my other girlfriends, they didn't mind about adult material or whatever, and I had told her that I had...
Oh, this one would absolutely spin out on that stuff.
Yeah, well, that's...
Look, she was abused in some way growing up, in a big way. I mean, she may not remember it, but it's had something happened to her substantial.
So, I mean, that's no problem. She expressed that, and it took me a while to realize, okay, this really bothers her. So she
expressed it, I'm sure, by injecting a ton of chaos into your relationship, right?
Exactly. So I boxed up all the stuff. I put everything away. You know, it's no big deal to me. And I'm working on trying to get the relationship back to the way it was. I'm trying to... She has a very low self-esteem. And
oh, boy.
I don't know how to build it up.
Hey, listen, hold on. Let me jump in here, Rick. People with problems need boyfriends too, and people that are sick need love too, but Rick, you're in way over your head. Way over your head. I mean, something happened to her a long time ago, and you're not going to be able to fix it for a long time.
Go look up borderline personality disorder.
Yeah, you know, I'm aware that I cannot fix it. And
go look. I'm serious. Go look up borderline personality disorder, and you'll see a description that will sound very familiar to you.
Well, where's he going to look it up?
I don't know, go to DSM-4 or go to the library.
DSM-4 lying around.
Bookstores have them out. Just go in there and read it. All right.
She's in therapy right now, and I understand I can't fix that. I understand I can't really build it up. But on top of that, she just thinks I'm always going to lie to her, and I mean, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Listen to me, Rick.
You're making us feel the chaos. You're taking the chaos.
Rick, I'm going to come over there. I'm going to kill you. Then I'm going to kill myself. You understand me? This girl is like a house that was in like Salem, you know, turn of the century, that's not had a coat of primer on it in 100 years, and you're no Bob Vila. You are like a gay florist trying to fix this house up with nothing but a 4-ounce hammer and a jock strap. You're not doing any. You're not going to be. He's not going to be able to do anything with this girl. I mean, this is in way over his head, and he just keeps telling us her problems. Be her friend. Try to help her any way you can, but unbox the porn. And move on. You cannot have a relationship with someone who won't let you have a relationship with them, and she's not going to let you have one. All right. I hate to be such a prick, but I got to go to the bathroom. We'll be back with more Loveline after this. For 1-800-LOVE-191. Adam Carolla, Dr. Drew. We're in Clearwater, Florida tonight, and we will be back in town at the home base tomorrow. And Stuart Copeland from the police will be in here tomorrow night, and then Goo Goo Dolls will be in on Thursday, and Lee Andrioni will be in on Wednesday. So we got that to look forward to, and until then, who are we speaking to, Drew?
Keisha. She is 17.
Keisha?
Yep.
LaKeisha.
Yep. Oh, LaKeisha.
What's up?
Nothing much. I have a question about how I get rid of somebody. About 3 weeks ago, I met this guy named Ricky. Well, I've been knowing him for a while, but, like, I met up with him where I work, and he told me that some stuff had happened to him, and, like, his girlfriend, he and his girlfriend just had a baby, and the baby's, like, a month old, and his girlfriend
get right to it. What's the question?
I would like to know how I'd, like, get rid of him, because he's after me.
What do you want to get rid of him for? What's his deal?
Well, he's got a girlfriend. He's got a baby.
Is that why?
Not anymore. His girlfriend left him, and he went crazy and locked himself in his house with a bunch of guns.
and now he wants me, and I don't know how to tell him that I don't want to be with him.
Just the trick is to shut off all contact.
Well, I tried doing that in a previous relationship, and I got beat up. So I don't know.
Beat up?
Huh?
What is going on? What is going on?
Oh, well,
how do you get involved with these guys?
I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, like, this guy that I'm having the problem with now, he got my number through a mutual friend. And
you call the police and tell them you're worried about your safety?
Listen, tell your stupid friends not to give your numbers out to guys who stockpile munitions, knock up girlfriends, and basically barricade themselves in houses.
But I don't know.
Forbid I ever got a phone number when I was young. How old is this guy?
He's 27.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Hey, Lakeisha, where's your dad?
My dad is not around. He's an alcoholic, and he's not around.
Okay. So, you see, you sort of figure this is the way the world works. It's not. It's just because it's the way your dad worked doesn't mean it's the way the world worked. For sure work. Oh, I hope it's not the way the world works. This guy, you should have no contact with him. I don't want to sound like Pollyanna. I mean, what I'm saying is like a cat that's sniffing around your back porch. You can't throw out bones. You can't throw out anything. It's got to have nothing, not even the light. If there's a dish and some rainwater fell into it, turn it over.
Yeah.
You can't leave anything out there. And they'll still come around, but they'll only come around for a few more days after there's nothing out there. It's bone dry. I mean, it's like...
concerned that she got beat up last time she tried this. See? Somebody came and beat the crap out of her. Well, if she could just stop being around these people. I mean, I don't know. What can we do? You know?
Drew, you know what you're going to have to do? Be some sort of martyr for young kids. Like light yourself on fire. And I'll stand by with a microphone and go, he's doing it for you. And he's doing it so you don't get any more bad relationships.
They'll make him stop
for that afternoon. And
I feel like I'm doing that tonight.
He'll be back on it. You can give him nothing. I don't know what advice to do. Here's my advice. He calls, you hang up. He threatens you, you call the cops.
Yeah.
That's it.
You got a restraining order.
And there's none of that, just meet me, just meet me, just meet me, just meet me, you know, at the park, just meet me here. No. No. And you don't argue. You just hang up. Right, Drew?
Yeah, that's I don't want to be specific with our advice because I don't know how violent this guy is, and I know she's had some terrible experiences. I mean, that's the principle. The principle is exactly as you say it.
Really?
But how realistic is that, and how much protection can she expect from the police?
You don't have any contact with him, and if he threatens you, you call the cops. I don't know what else.
Yeah.
What else to say?
I mean, continually, let's put it this way.
And don't get hooked up with don't let these guys get their foot in the door. They're like Jehovah's Witnesses.
No, they're worse. They're like amoeba.
Oh, wait a minute, worse?
Yeah.
The point, okay. Okay. They're like termites. Yeah. Once they get into your house, that's it. They start colonizing. You can't leave the window open. They'll blow in. You can't give them a crack.
Yeah.
You just keep walking and looking at your feet. Your friend gives this guy your phone number, you hang up the first time he calls.
Certainly, I don't see how that could be worse than trying to ease the guy down softly, because you know that's going nowhere.
Last time he got dumped, he locked himself in the house with his arsenal.
All right, let's go to Daryl. Daryl's 30. Daryl, what's up? Daryl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good.
Great. No, my son's in the hospital. They're thinking it's CF.
Cystic fibrosis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's only 10 weeks old.
Uh-huh.
And the question is, how do people get it?
They inherit it.
What's cystic fibrosis?
So it's a lung disease, a degenerative lung disease where the airways don't work properly.
How's it?
Like, imagine the best way I could describe it, like bad asthma all the time.
Yeah.
And does it kill you?
Eventually, typically.
Or what do you mean eventually?
You don't live a normal lifespan with that disease, typically. They're different.
Do you live to 30?
Sometimes. There's different degrees of it. Depends how bad it is.
How bad is it, Daryl?
Well, we don't know yet. He's in Stormont, Vale. He was over at Children's Mercy in Kansas City, Missouri.
Are they definitive on this diagnosis, or are they just speculating that this might be a possibility?
It's a good possibility, it is.
Yeah.
And
my thoughts go out to you, and it's so hard with kids. It just kills me. I mean, I had a sick kid, and it's just, there's nothing worse.
Is that with the Korean wife?
No.
Which one? Okay. Daryl?
Yes.
Well, actually, what can Drew tell you? What do you want to know from Drew?
I mean, it sounds like he's in good hands. You do what the doctors tell you. Pediatricians are usually all over cystic fibrosis. I mean,
Drew, don't they? Isn't this something they're always trying to raise awareness of and money for and all that? It's a huge money-raising thing.
Research, sure.
Why?
Because it's an important illness.
Is it something that strikes a lot of kids?
Yeah.
Does it only get you when you're a kid?
Yeah.
You can't get it past 1 year?
It's inborn error.
You got to have it coming
out. You get it past 1 year, but you get it young.
How would you test for it before someone is pregnant or something?
I don't know if there's any test of pregnancy. I don't know that. There might be some genetic counseling.
Give Daryl in 1 minute like some good news or something hopeful.
I mean, the good news is some of these cases are mild, and they can live very active lives for decades with this, right, Daryl?
All right.
Well, he's on hold.
Have they told you that?
No. No. They told us that there's a little girl that was born with it, and she lived till she was 13 years old. Mm-hmm. And they really didn't get into it as much as, I would like for them to do, because, I asked some questions, and they kind of beat around the bush.
What were the questions you asked?
Is it, well, like I asked you, was it, how they can get it, and they said it was inherited.
That's how you get it.
Yeah.
People got to get used to the idea that somehow...
And that's not a real good example of them beating around the bush with a question. I don't mean to bust your balls here, but I mean...
That's the answer.
That's just the answer. Yeah. And there may be other things.
I mean, people have some concept that somehow things have to happen to them from the environment in order to get ill. It's not the case. I mean, human or biological systems that have illness as part of the life course.
Right.
And it can happen early, can happen late. Illness is part of the deal.
Okay.
Only a certain percentage of it is acquired.
We got to take ourselves a break, but I do want to say this to Daryl. Our hearts go out to you, and I swear to God, I hear people raising money for this every 10 minutes. So hopefully, if your kid can hang on for a while, I think there'll be some help, some breakthroughs, some stuff like that. I'm no doctor. But we keep moving on. And thank God he doesn't have a problem with his gums, because if this was dentistry, that'd be it. All right, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with more Loveline. So Loveline, we're going to take our traditional 10-second top-of-the-hour break, and we'll be right back with the rest of Loveline in just 10 seconds. It is Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. We're here in Clearwater, Florida. We're doing a little engagement here. We'll be back in town tomorrow. We'll have Stuart Copeland from the police tomorrow night, Goo Goo Dolls on Thursday, Lee Andrioni on Wednesday. But until then, more of your calls. Drew?
We've got a follow-up on the cystic fibrosis. Jesse is 25. Jesse.
Hi.
Yeah.
You there?
Yeah.
Okay. I watched a really fascinating and troubling program on cystic fibrosis. There is a test that they can give to the pregnant woman to find out if the fetus has CF.
Okay.
And then, like this one couple, it was kind of like a follow-up story on this couple. They had twin girls who had cystic fibrosis, and often, almost always, the child doesn't live to the teenage years. That's like a really great prognosis is the teenage years. And then following their twins,
we're trying to ease Daryl here.
Yeah, but
Allison, Jesse,
she knew before that that the girls were going to have cystic fibrosis, and she said she wouldn't have given the world to not have her girls. She loved them so much, and they brought so much joy to her life. And then they were able to determine that their following pregnancy did not have cystic fibrosis. So even though both her and her husband were positive for the gene, they were able to have children without cystic fibrosis.
How do you do that if you're both positive for the gene?
It must be what they call homozygous, or heterozygous, rather. Where you have
some guy yelled that out of his van at me when I was walking down Ventura 2 days ago.
What? Hetero?
It was homozygous, I think he yelled.
I mean, if you need These are the dominant genes here.
Drew Strong.
Plus this equals the...
For Christ's sake. What is that, Drew?
Disease. These are gene, alleles.
That's a gene?
There's two genes, right? One may have and one may not. Same with the other parent. One may have it, and one may not.
Drew is drawing something, but it's so... I would describe it over the air, but I don't understand it, and it's so boring.
All right.
It wouldn't make sense anyway. It's like a couple of pier pylons. One seems to be a little bit taller than the other, and then one's got a circle, and then he draws a line to the other one.
All right.
Yeah. That's why it would never work. Oh, med school. Oh, biology, labs. What else? Chemistry? Anatomy? Forget it. No way. Not possible. Impossible for me.
I understand that.
Take 40 years.
It still wouldn't happen.
40 years I'd have my 2-year college degree.
Yeah.
My junior college degree.
It would never happen.
All right. Well, anyway, our thoughts go out to Daryl and his child and his wife and the family. And we appreciate that piece of dark news there, Jesse. Drew?
Angela's 13. Angela.
Hi. I really love the show, and my problem is I got molested 3 weeks ago by a 19-year-old black male.
That's like rape, right? How was the molestation? What happened?
He French kissed me, and he dragged me away from where I was trying to get away, and he felt my inner thighs. And
it's like a sexual assault.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you report him?
Yeah. And
what happened?
Well, I had to do an interview, and they had to record me and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And oh god, and he found an assault in there, and when I was
like a what?
Assault in it, and he wanted to bring this to court, and
the DA wanted to file an assault charge.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to get.
It's like playing Pictionary with him.
We found assault.
He found assault in there. All right. So he wanted to file assault charges against this guy, this 19-year-old.
And you're ambivalent. You don't know whether or not you should do that or not. Is that it?
Well, he has 4 kids.
Whoa.
And oh god, he's a pot user, and he's an alcoholic, and I just got messed up in this because I went to a birthday party, and we were outside, and he drives up, and he has some business to do with the next door neighbors, and we screamed at him, and he came over to see if we're okay, and we started talking, and I was the only one out of the 3 who were crying and scared to death because I knew something was wrong, and they left me alone with him.
Oh boy.
You did this?
Sure. What? How come it always seems like there's those little pieces missing from the puzzles?
She's 13.
But why did you guys scream at him when he went next door in the beginning?
Well, it was late at night, and this car stopped. And we're right in the front yard, and it was loud music in the car, a gang thing, and it stops right in front of you, and
isn't that the time to turn and run?
Time just to head into the house at that point?
Ran to the house, and we're screaming our heads off.
Why would he come up to that? Why?
Well, he lives next door.
I see.
And
what a mess.
He had some business to do with one of his children's moms or something.
Well, how is it that he walked into the house and sort of dragged you away from everybody?
Well, he's really, oh god, we had to have the door open a little because this place does not have air conditioning.
All right, Adam, let's not be part of the humiliation for you.
I'm sorry. I was trying to sort of picture what was going on and how it worked, and I'm still a little confused. But
I can understand what.
He walked out on the porch, and we followed him, and he asked them to leave, and they did, and I was, there.
Stuck.
Yeah.
Listen, it's understandable that you'd be humiliated and ashamed and uncertain as to whether you want to go through with this, but you would be doing a service to other people that he might abuse in the future or will abuse in the future if you're able to step forward and do this. I certainly understand that you're not clear that it's something you want to do at your age. What are your parents behind you on this?
Yeah, they don't know what to do, and he's like been in jail for 5 years, and he said self-defense, and I didn't believe him.
I think that's
something out of an Albert Brooks movie.
Good instinct, Angela.
I think first off, I think your folks need to take a little less of a laissez-faire role here.
Yes.
And by the way, I'm taking my kid and I'm going to let him leave the house, but I'm going to have one of those spikes driven in the lawn with a chain on him, like a dog.
Yeah.
This guy can only get so far. And when the street lights come on, I reel him in like a big grouper.
Yeah.
Throw him right and put a gaff in him and throw him right in his bunk bed. Listen, this guy's got such a rap sheet that as soon as he goes in front of the judge, he's going back in, mandatory 3 years because of his history. And I don't know if there's a 3 strikes rule where you are, but this guy has to be contained. A 13-year-old. And by the way, I don't know whose house this was or why everyone decided to follow this guy out to the porch and why they decided to leave you out with this guy, and what are you not telling us in this story that we need to know? But all I know is you went to the cops, you did the hardest part, just finish it off. What'd you say, Drew?
Yeah.
Tell the cops you want to press charges. All right. Get our next caller here, Joe.
All right. Brad is 22. Brad.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
My problem's pretty basic compared to everybody else's, but I think it kind of needs to be...
No kidding.
Because it's what everybody else's might stem from. Basically, the problem is I'm 22, and I have an immense fear of talking to strange girls.
Why?
But the problem is that I can't meet girls.
Why?
That I'm not even sure. I have a fear of approaching girls that I don't know, and all the girls I do know are just good friends, so...
How about having them introduce you to people?
Already tried that. They don't know anybody who isn't married or who isn't a head case. The last girl I got introduced to by a friend ended up sleeping with another one of my friends the first time she met the guy.
Are you a virgin?
Yes, I am.
Oh, that's got to be rough. 22.
Yeah.
All your friends have been laid, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's my...
Well, the ones that haven't been laid are lying. So, I mean, if they haven't. Where do you go? You never had a girlfriend?
Any suggestions you might make to overcome this? Or...
Well, I got a lot of them. Have you ever had a girlfriend?
The longest I've ever dated a girl has been a month and a half. So not really.
And she dumped you?
We got into a mutual fight. Let's just put it that way. And she never called me back. She said she'd call me back to resolve it, and she never did. And I was too proud to swallow my pride and call her, so we left.
Well, that's some sort of promising sign, isn't it, Drew?
Yeah, I don't get the feel from Brad that we got a real problem here. Have you just not had opportunity to meet girls? I mean, what's going on here?
Well, I mean, I've had the opportunity. It's just I can't do it. I have a fear, and I see how other guys look. They're around my age when they approach girls, and they just look like...
What do you think about that makes you... What is it that you think is underlying that fear?
Probably the way I'd look if I approach.
How do you look? What's the problem with how you look?
Well, like a self-image, coming from a self-image point of view.
Where do you think that comes from?
Probably lack of self-confidence.
Why? Where'd that come from? Well, don't keep using the same words.
Where's your lack of self-image come from?
Yeah,
lack of self-confidence.
Where's worth? Well, I
don't feel like I'm worth anything.
So, Brad, where did that come from?
Hey, Drew, I swear to God, if we cut through all the crap on this show, it'd be 18 minutes long. We could both go home. We got to get some kind of Cliff Notes version. Brad, what do you look like? Describe yourself.
Very tall, very slim.
How tall?
6'10".
Ooh.
Yeah.
Big tall. Big. Yeah. And how much you weigh?
185.
Yeah. That's spindly. That's all right, though. There are chicks who like that. Look at that Rick Ocasek. Or, as he's now known, Rick Ocasek. Although he was Ocasek for like 25 years. And by the way, how's that work when you get to change your pronunciation of your name like midstream?
Midstream, towards the end.
Hey, you're 45 years old and you decide it's no longer Adam Carolla, it's Adam Carolla. Carolla. Nah, that's what I'm going to be called now. Just an F with everybody.
Carla.
All right, you're getting punchy now, Drew.
I'm not.
Brad, You need to find yourself a nice, spindly woman that is going to love you, and you got to hang on to her with both hands. But you can't go in, and there's no way to work this out over the phone.
Well,
I mean, you can't talk it away.
There's something called social phobia that people are thinking may go underdiagnosed, and it does respond very well to, reasonably well to medication. The Paxil is the medication that's traditionally advocated for this. But at 22, in total inability to function socially, at least interpersonally, it's really not interpersonal, it's just social issue. You can't make the social contact that gets converted into interpersonal experience. And to me, it's time to look into it. I mean, you've really passed sort of the formative years when people usually use, the years that people usually use to develop their skills. And there's not as much opportunity going forward. If you lose that, you got a problem. So
you got to get in the radio and start doing a lot of blow. That'll really build your confidence. True, weren't we sitting around dinner tonight, and I was telling you how broken I was when I was like 21, 22?
Yeah,
to the point where I thought there was something wrong with me, and then I go back and I look at pictures of me at 21, 22, and I look a hell of a lot better than I look now.
Yeah, I didn't want to tell you, but...
Well, listen, I've gone to seed. There's no doubt about that. But the point is there was nothing wrong with me when I was 22. I was actually handsome. And, you know, I had a good sense of humor. I made a living. I didn't have
We both kind of went through that, though, that was self-worth stuff.
You just thought you stunk like crap, and sure enough, stink of loserdom on you, and that's it.
There's not a lot of investment in the future.
No.
They just aren't into that at that age, are they?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Brad needs to find himself a nice, horny divorcee to build his confidence. Some woman in her late 30s, happy to have a young buck, that Brad will bend himself around a woman like a pipe cleaner. Make her very happy.
21. William?
Hey there?
William, there you are. What's up?
And, well, okay, about 6 months ago, a friend of mine asked me to move into an apartment with her, you know, to get a two-bedroom. And, you know, I had thought about it for a lot of different reasons, you know, and I just decided, you know, I'm going to do it. So we got the apartment together, and, you know, the problem, too, is I really had liked this girl. And we lived together for a couple months, and I started really thinking to myself, well, you know, we could never have a relationship together, so, you know, I'm never going to tell her about how I feel. And you know, between that and my drug abuse problem that I had, I don't know, I started trying to push her out of my life. You know, I started doing a lot of cruel things to her. I broke our trust between us.
You really liked her?
Yeah, I really did. I mean, I never really realized how much I loved her until it was too late, you know?
Well, hang on, William. Were you addicted at that point?
What point?
Were you addicted at the time which you were pushing her away?
Oh, yeah. Well, I had pretty much a couple months before we got the apartment just started on cocaine and crystal. Before that, I had used pot. And...
You're still doing some crystal now, huh?
Oh, no. I don't...
When was the last time you did it?
6 months. Well, it was March 19th.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
You doing any drugs or alcohol now?
The only thing I really do is once in a while I'll smoke pot, and I'll still drink once in a while, but...
William, you got to get into recovery. That's your only hope. This relationship is an empty symbol of something more important, and you're not going to get at it unless you get honest and get into recovery.
Well, William never asked this question.
Well, the problem, you know, how does he get her back? The problem is not that when he had her, he treated her like crap. It's not the fact that he really loves this girl. It's the fact that he can't deal with the loss.
Well, he never made his move, really.
I guess that is the biggest thing. You know, I can't, and I mean, a lot of it too.
William,
it's the way I heard her too. You know, it's knowing that I made her cry, knowing that I did all these things to her.
William, but you never.
She comes back, you'll treat her like crap again. Promise. Guaranteed.
I never would.
Guaranteed.
The thing is too, you
guaranteed.
know, we never escalated from the friendship to anything else.
Hey, you were treating her like crap, and you weren't even dating her. When did you start dating her?
Yeah. Well, see, she had gotten a boyfriend too, and during the.
Okay. You have one hope, and that's to get in recovery.
Listen, you send her a nice bottle of Chardonnay, and then go to AA, or CA, or FNA, or NA, or whatever, anything that ends with an A. But don't worry about reeling her back in.
This is not. It's just the relationship means something different to you than it actually was, and it's not about the relationship. It is about the loss of the relationship, and this has some substantial issue to you that you're not going to get at now. But hopefully, in the process of recovery, when you do have honest relationships with your peers, you'll be able to understand what this is all about. But this is not going to happen by acting out these sick relationships. Not going to change. You're going to do it all over again. Guaranteed.
Okay, Drew. You got another call?
Allison's 17. Allison.
What's up, Allison?
Not much. Well, I have kind of a decision to make between living with my two parents. I'm 17. I'm a senior. And I have about 9 more months before I turn 18. And my parents, one lives in a different town. Hello?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm currently living with my mother. My dad is kind of a jerk. That's putting it very nicely.
So why would you want to live with him?
Because all my friends are down there, and my boyfriend that I extremely love. I don't know how I could possibly live without him.
Why is your dad a jerk?
He kind of played with my mind a bit. He never did anything sexual to me, ever. He's never hit me or touched me in any way that I didn't like it.
What did he do to you?
He kind of I just was not good enough. He always told me that. He never let me do anything because I was supposed to be this, typical house little girl and do all my chores and get good grades, and I wasn't. Because he did that to me, I went out and I got a job so I could afford my own stuff. So
He did what to you?
He just kind of played with my mind, just...
It'd be more explicit. I don't understand what that means.
He just told me I wasn't good enough and made me feel that way.
He said that to you? He said, Allison, you're not good enough. You're worthless.
Pretty much.
What did he say? I don't want to hear what he pretty much said. I want to hear exactly what he said.
He said that...
Drew, you're punchy tonight, buddy.
No, because I think there's less here than she interprets there is.
Well, because first off, stop whacking on the floor with your foot. You're shaking my feelings loose. Secondly, you want to rule your 3 kids with an iron fist, and so you're doing some projecting.
No,
and it sounds to us, and believe me, we listen to people that are out of control.
Yep.
Their parents are out to lunch, they're at the park scoring weed. Yeah. The kid is making a pipe bomb with fertilizer in the living room, and they walk right past them when they come home.
That's right.
We like hearing about a parent who's sort of on top of the kids, even if it seems like it's a little overly protective.
That's the point. She doesn't like what she was forced to do with him, but she's trying to make a decision as to whether or not she should live with Dad in order to be around the friends that she really wants to be around. So I've got to find out whether or not Dad really is as bad as she seems to think he is, because if he is, she should stay with Mom regardless of the friends. But I suspect Dad is not quite as bad as she would lead us to believe. And I suspect Dad left Mom.
Oh, no, Mom left Dad.
Why?
Because he did it to her, too.
All right.
He didn't have a job, and he was mooching off everything. He never really gives anything. He's just a taker. How does he support himself now?
Right now he's unemployed, and he's going through unemployment to go to college, and he is almost 50.
Going to college?
Yeah, he's going to do computer stuff.
Junior college.
No, he's going to UC Davis, actually.
What's he studying?
Computers.
Maybe some hope for this guy.
Yeah, he wasn't making enough money doing other things, even though we have a really nice house and all that kind of stuff. But
see, it's always never makes sense. It doesn't make sense.
He's on unemployment, but he's studying computers. But they got a real nice house.
And I think
but he never made any money. Who made all the money?
My stepmom and my dad both did, but right now my mom's going.
Well, your dad, but I thought your dad was mooching his whole life, and he never worked.
Oh yeah, he says right now to this day that my stepmother's making all the money, which is bull because they both own the same company.
Okay, so your dad owns a company and makes money and buys a big house.
Yes, and I've never.
Allison, I'm done with you. I'm done. You know why? Because you won't be straight with us. You won't give us an answer. The dad's he's a moocher. He's a deadbeat. Oh, wait a minute. He owns a company.
The fact is, Dad did something that she blames him for, will not forgive him for now. And everything's distorted by that. Everything. And she hates Dad. Dad left Mom, or Dad disappointed Mom. Dad disappointed Allison in some way she cannot forgive. And she can't even see him for who he is.
All right, let me give a hypothesis. I think Dad dumped Mom.
Yeah.
I think Dad...
Or Dad did something horrible that made Mom dump him.
Dad dumped Mom, took off with a younger step chick, got out of the house, left Allison with Mom, and then Mom started the poison process.
Oh, yes.
Dad this, Dad beat Dad that, Moocher Dad that, I put him through school, Dad this, and Dad that.
Yes.
But as it turns out, no sexual abuse, no physical abuse.
Pretty attentive Dad. Owns a company, now going back to school, educating himself some more. There's different spins on this thing.
Well, one minute he's on welfare, and the next minute he's co-heads a fairly successful company, or at least one good enough to buy a big house. I don't know what it is, but Allison, you got to really just stand back and write down on paper what this guy really is worth, and then make your decision. And by the way, if he's the prick that you say he is...
You wouldn't even be thinking about going to live with him.
Why go over there?
Yeah.
So what, your friends are over there? Yeah. So what, your boyfriend's over there? If this guy is as bad as you say he is, stay with Mom. But I got the feeling that Mom may be a little worse than even Dad is.
That's right. So smart guy who's punchy.
Oh, all right, wise ass.
You are my team.
All right. We're going to take a little break. I'm going to let Drew verbally abuse me, and then we'll be back with more Loveline.
Right.
To Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Yeah, even he calls himself Rick Ocasek now. Maybe he always called himself Rick Ocasek, but everyone else called him Rick Ocasek.
Should have just given in. Just let it be what it
people call me Alan, I answer. I'm correct them with that. I can get to the bottom of that.
Just change the spelling of your name, too, by the way. They all spell it a certain way, the wrong way.
Yeah. It's now officially C-O-R. Yeah. It's no longer C-A-R. I get stuff from the station at C-O-R.
Paycheck.
No, they don't pay. They just pay me. The general manager, he has a big mason jar filled with nickels. And he just
reaches in,
dumps them. Yeah, however many I can hold. Well, I get one for like my uncle used to do this. I'd get that card in the mail on my birthday. Hey, you're 12 now. That's 12 nickels. So let me do the math here, Uncle Vince.
Stuck into the card.
That's it. Did you have to go make change for $1 so you can? Yeah, something they found between the sofa. Hey, it's Loveline. I'm Adam Ocasek. That's Dr. Drew. We're in Clearwater, Florida, and we'll be back in town tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll talk to Stuart Copeland from the legendary group, The Police. So, it's back to the phones we go. Who do we have, Drew?
Hayden. He is
Drew. Keep going, baby.
I'm fine.
No,
you're
don't
punchy,
drag.
Dude.
Yeah, but you're falling apart.
Hayden, what's up?
Okay, I've been dating a guy for like 4 weeks, and he never mentioned that he was bisexual. And yesterday he called me and he told me that she slept with his friend, a girl. And I don't know. I love him, but I don't want to go with a bisexual man or.
Well, you don't want to go with a cheater, do you?
No, I don't. All
right. He's a cheater.
Yeah, but
you've only been with him 4 weeks, right?
Yeah. Okay. It's not like we've been sleeping together or something. It's just we've been dating.
So, look, it's very disappointing when somebody you're really into turns out to be somebody different than you thought he was or she was. And especially, no, you don't. No, you don't.
Well, maybe he does.
A month.
How's the gay dating work? I mean, minus the physicality. I mean, if there's no sex.
What are the rules? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, you pick him up, he picks you up, you hold hands, I mean, you go out to dinner. Is it just the same as heterosexual dating?
Is there a base system?
It's the same.
And at the end of the night, you kiss, but you don't go any further?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. And
did you get any further?
No.
Just making out?
Yeah. And he's 7 years older than I am.
Yeah. How old's that make him?
28.
28. And he claims to be bisexual. See, that's ambivalent.
He didn't say that. he just told me.
He claimed to be gay. But listen.
He calls in a month and just announces this to Brad.
Hold on.
Lying. Who knows?
Listen, I know the gays. You show me a gay guy who's 28. He's gay. He loves guys. He's dating somebody for a month. He's making out with them. Yeah. They're really forming a relationship. Yeah. One of the perks to being gay is guys put out. And they put out in a hurry. There's rarely any, it's not like they're saving it for anybody or there's some sort of religious whatever, because they're gay. They're getting it on. And so if you got a guy who you've been dating for a while and he's 28 and there's nothing going on, there's something up. And this is what's up. I don't think he's that comfortable with it.
No.
You mean Aiden's not that comfortable? Oh, do you mean the guy wasn't putting out with Aiden?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh. I think there's something up with him.
I see. What do you think, Aiden?
I don't know. He never mentioned that he was a bisexual. And
yeah, but he... why do you get the feel... I mean, had he been gay for a long time?
He?
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, you need to know more.
How many other guys? Have you dated other guys?
Yes.
They put out immediately, right?
Kind of.
Like in the bathroom. I mean, at the club.
Well, pretty fast.
The guys put out. Well, listen, I'm not making fun of gays. I mean, it sounds like it, but heterosexual guys, how long does it take them to get their pants off on a date?
When there's an opportunity.
When there's an opportunity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Put two of
those guys in the same van. You know what I mean?
Pants are off.
Pants are off. I mean, 2 pair of pants hanging out the window of the van.
All right, but the point is that we question whether Aiden's friend there was really comfortable with his homosexuality.
Right. Yeah. And all you folks out there, and I know you hate this, but who claim to be bisexual, you just can't commit. You're cheaters. That's why you claim you're bisexual.
So you can cheat?
You cheat. It's cheating. That's all. It's a fancy name for cheating. That's all it is. You're saying you can't even commit to a gender.
What if you're bisexual and you say, I'm committed to, right now I'm a lesbian?
Yeah, that's right. You're a lesbian. You're no longer bisexual.
But this relationship were not to work out, I would choose from amongst the entire population.
Yeah, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, it's not even a factor. It's like you saying to your wife, hey, if we ever get divorced, I may blow a guy. What do I care? You know what I mean? We're married.
Right.
I can't say to my girlfriend, I mean, it's neither here nor there.
All right.
I can't say to my girlfriend, you know, if we ever break up, I may get a hankering for some schlong. And I just want you to know that. No, if I tell her that, it means there's a friend, there's a friend of hers, Rick. I think he's cute. And I'm about 2 beers away from jumping on him.
I love schlong.
Jenny's 27. Jenny?
Yeah.
All right. What's going on?
Hey, how are you guys?
We're good.
Yeah?
Adam's punchy, though.
I'm fine.
What's that?
Jen, I swear to God, I'm going to get on a plane. I'm going to come in there and backhand you.
What's going on?
Where are you?
I need some, because I'm having, some big-time problems here.
All right.
You guys having fun?
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Jenny?
What is this, a massage parlor? Or are we trying to do a radio show? It's like we're at a bachelor party or something.
No, I thought I was calling the massage parlor. What is this, a radio show?
Uh-oh. How old's this, Jenny?
27.
Are you a little nutty?
Am I a little nutty? Until tonight.
Okay, well, please state your problem.
My problem is that...
Let's start with that.
Let's start with my problem. First of all...
Yes, let's do.
I was noticing that there's this guy that I work with. And for some reason, he's doing pretty well in the workplace. And for some reason, all of the women really want him. He's single, he's good looking.
Jenny, what's the question? All right, what's the question? We don't need all.
I wonder what the reason is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's hung like a black rhino.
Well, the thing is, all the girls want him, and for some reason, he's been flirting with me. I have no interest in this man.
Okay, what's the question?
All right, good.
What's the question then?
Well,
hey, Jenny, are you good looking?
Why?
She must be.
Yeah, you got to be good looking.
I have no interest in him.
We don't know. We don't know him.
But I've got actually a duplicate problem here. Are you ready for this?
He's got to have some kind of hearing impairment.
Okay, I also have this boyfriend, and he lives with a gay man. And he says he's not gay, although he's really feminine. He's really feminine.
The gay, not gay man?
He seems very heterosexual.
Or your boyfriend?
Right.
All right.
But
Drew, you're not going to get to. You will not be able to have a conversation with this Jenny.
Obviously.
Hey, Jenny.
Yeah.
What do you do for a living?
What do I do for a living? I work for a biotech firm.
You must answer the phone.
I must answer the phone.
You're not in the gene research lab all day, are you?
No.
What do you do there?
I work with chemicals.
I hope it's nothing dangerous. I swear to God, the neighborhoods near that building should be evacuated immediately. I can see you running with like a couple of beakers and pumps.
Believe it or not, this benefits society.
Really? All right. What do you guys work on over there?
Although my boyfriend, I don't know if he benefits society.
All right. Are you real good looking, Jenny?
I hate to grade myself.
But you give yourself a good 9?
I give myself a really good 9, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be good looking. And there's no other way anyone would put up with you.
9. But you haven't even heard my problem yet.
Well, listen, you know what this is? This is the female equivalent to when the guys call in and they go, you know, my Johnson is so big that I can't ride a bike because whatever side it shifts to is the side I pull to. So what am I going to do, Doc? No answer. There's a really hot, eligible, single guy at work that all the other girls like, but for some reason he seems to like you. What are you going to do? That's not a question.
No, this isn't half my problem. Honey,
Let's take a break.
Hold
on, Jenny. Hold on.
Are we late for a break?
Yeah.
All right, Jenny.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break.
Uh-huh.
I want you to look in the mirror during that period and reevaluate yourself. All right? We're going to come back, we're going to talk to you, and you're going to have a clearly formed question, right? Right.
We've heard the story about the gay guy and the boyfriend and blah, blah, blah. We need the question, okay?
Okay.
All right, we'll be back with more Loveline and more Jenny and her musings after this.
This is Aaron, Scott, and Tavis, and we're Real Big Fish.
And you're listening to Loveline
with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Yes, you is. We're in Clearwater, Florida tonight. We have producer Ann, engineer Mike, and phone screener Sherry back at the home base in L.A. They're doing a real good job sending us stuff out this way. And out here we have engineer Scott, who's doing a wonderful job. As a matter of fact, Mike,
this is Dr. Drew.
Bringing Scott back with us.
He's flying back.
I'm bringing him on carry.
We're strapping him to the top of the plane.
I'm bringing him on carry-on.
Mike's broken up about that.
Stuffing him up in the overhead. All right. When we left off here on Loveline, we were speaking to the alluring... Was it Jenny? Oh, Jenny. Yeah, that makes more sense. Jenny works at a bio lab or something.
I don't know what her job actually is, though.
I don't think...
What's the name of the job?
We could get it out of her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask her real clearly and see if she can just put it into one sentence. Jenny?
What's the name?
Yeah.
What is your job? What do you do when you show up at work tomorrow?
Basically, it's like a lot of paperwork.
What is the name of the job?
The name of my job, I'm a biotech technician.
Technician.
Okay. And you're working on things that are going to be good for the world.
Well, maybe not good for the world, but good for individuals.
What is it you're working on?
Right now we're working on a pharmaceutical, pharmaceutical specimens that we're just basically testing them to make sure that they'll be okay for optional use.
You mean generic drugs?
Yeah, that's the simplistic way to put it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, go ahead and go simple next time. All right, so you're working on pharmaceuticals. You have a guy at work. He's real